Hello, people. So Rivals has released an article saying that they have some stuff already planned more than a year ahead for 2026. I think games in general tend to do this already when it comes to like the next year. They kind of say like, "Oh, next year is going to be huge," because they want people to be excited for the next year and for new content to be released in that year. In my opinion, I don't really. It's more of a I'll believe it till I see it, really, because a lot of games happen tend to just kind of say that only for the sake of getting people hyped and excited for the next year and just anticipate things more. But when it comes to Rivals, I do like what they have going on, and I do like the things they're offering us. That's weird. My screen has a weird stutter. Like it's like a weird frame drop sometimes. It's a new GPU too. I don't know, but again, so like for example, I think Overwatch has the same thing. Big changes for 2026. Anything can happen. Again, I think I'm just showing this because games do this. So I'm not like too perked up about it or anything, but I think it's cool to know that they have already planned more than a year ahead. That's more information. It's more specific, and I can appreciate that more. I have already watched. I think Flats go over the article, and reason why I say that is because the guy in the article, he doesn't really talk like he knows the game. It seems like this is coming from someone who only casually played the game for a little bit and not at all. And I think game developers, not no, whoa, not I guess game journalist really. I don't know if this guy is specifically a game journalist, but he's definitely a journalist or something like that. Um, and they tend to lack context for a game or appreciate the things that really matter that the general audience of the game that plays the game seriously thinks matters. Did I say that right? Um, so let's go over it. Okay. So 2025 was more of a warm up. 2025 was a pretty incredible year for NetEase Marvel Rivals since dropping right at the end of 2024. Oh my god, it's been so long. It's gone through 5 theme seasons, increased its collection of heroes and villains by 12, experimented with PvE with its rough around the edges Marvel Zombies mode. Let's see. I guess I just lack like the flexibility to play more heroes because if they release 12 new heroes, I've only been like really focusing on one, and that was just Daredevil. But the team is just getting started. 2025 was more of a warm up period for us. Marvel Gaming executive producer Danny Koo told Den of Geek next year we're going to have bigger plans. We're not going to slow down. We've already planned more than a year ahead, and I can't wait for our players to see it. So NetEase tends to um, rush ahead and not care about what's in front of them. And I say that from the experience of the last games he developed. Not all of them were bad, but they have an experience of kind of rushing through things without really solidifying what they are. So things can get a little bit crazy. Um, but Rivals is kind of like their one game that they really popped off on, and they with the whole heroes releasing every like season, it's crazy. I think it was like 2 heroes every season. It's actually, oh my god, yeah, it's insane. The beginning of the season and then during the middle of the season, another hero has been released. I don't think I've really seen a game or a hero shooter do that before. Not that I know many, but Rivals is on top of it. I am pretty worried about like how fast they're going with this stuff because it's just like, well, what if things get really unbalanced out of hand more than it is now? Because we're back in that whole 3 healer meta thing, and it's just so cancerous. Um, Next up, I went from being more than a skeptic. Wait, what? I went from being more than a skeptic, hating how it felt to play and what NetEase has done to some of my favorite characters, like Magneto, to becoming a convert. The beta put me off, but shortly after launch, I was hooked. It completely destroyed any interest I had left in Overwatch 2, though Blizzard had already done a good job killing my interest before then. Okay. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I can never see myself really I'm sorry, I cannot talk for shit today. And it's like when any content creator reads an article like this or any article in general, I feel like it's a curse. just can't read shit anymore. God damn. But again, I can't really see a Magneto player or me being a Magneto main. He's just so slow for me, really. I can't get into it. But some people can, and I respect for you for doing that. Okay, next part. In the next year, we want to provide more game modes, say NetEase. Publishing and marketing lead, Chen Bian. It's why we have prototypes in the game like PvE 18v18. I have not tried 18v18 yet. It never really caught my eye. I'm surprised that I didn't do it yet because I thought I would. No, but I just didn't. Let's see. We want to give the players more choices of different game modes beyond the basic gameplay because your fundamental experience might be very different. Game modes. So I think for me, and a lot of other people, like maybe like the general player base of Rivals, I feel like the core gameplay, PvP, will always ever be more played than PvE, in my opinion. At least when it comes to hero shooters. Listen, realistically, there is not a larger amount of people caring about PvE than PvP, or more than PvP. Sure, it's something to talk about, and it is ways for people to, like, I guess, scale how good a game is compared to another game like Rivals and Overwatch, because people were like, oh well, PvE this, PvE that, and it's like, okay, me personally, I've never really cared for PvE that much. I was there to fight other people, not enemies, but it's cool regardless. Let's see. I never managed to get into zombie mode. Full as it was with the enemies, were the only challenge was wrestling with my attention span, thanks to the absurdly large HP. Rivals is a punchy, swift game, but with this mode, it ground to a halt. But I still appreciate the team's willingness to experiment, leaving me excited to see what comes next year. See, this is what I don't really like about game journalists. They only mention how they feel about the game and not the general audience. They're lacking so much context because a lot of people like the PvE. Sure, I wasn't crazy about it, but if you looked up on the internet at the time and, were there to actually do the research, a lot of people liked the PvE. So many people got the Queen Slayer title, and I thought it looked cool, but you could have built your character, add a lot of effects, and the clips online were crazy as shit. I see Thor barfing out fucking lightning bolts and Jeff just being Jeff, it's insane. So I just can't fuck with like the whole, oh, this is bad, but only focus on my opinion and not the general audience. It's a real turn off, man. Not that I'm looking for anything, but okay. Rivals is a punchy, swift game, but with this mode, it ground to a halt. No, it did not. But I still appreciated that the team's willing to experiment. I'm excited to see what comes up with next year. That's true. Let's see. We'll have to wait until 2026 to find out what's coming, but NetEase has some big ambitions. It's a lot of hard work, and it always feels different and exciting, said Ku. This game is releasing new content every week. Even my own team comes out every day, asking what's new today. Oh, everyone's excited. They want to continue to make this happen. Everyone wants to make this the biggest game possible. Cool. Again, like, I think it's really good that... Wait, what? No. I think it's better to, again, include the general opinion about game modes in Rivals. You're just one person at the end of the day. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what your occupation is. You're still one person talking about a game. You can't really deem a game success based off one opinion. And that's kind of basic knowledge and shit. As for what I'm excited for, me personally, not the guy here, I think I'm looking more towards, like, hoping for more like core game content, really. When I was playing Overwatch before Rivals released, I was always wanting like Paladins-esque perks and buffs and builds. And Overwatch did do that. Later on, they implemented perks. Implemented perks into Overwatch 2. And overall, it was just a plus. Yeah, some perks were unbalanced and some were more stronger than others, yada yada. But that's normal game behavior when it comes to balancing a game. That's always going to happen. There will always be some faulty thing with the game's balancing. There'll never be anything known as a perfect game balance patch. That's just not it. Everyone will have something to say about it, And again, that will always happen. But as for me, I really am looking forward to Rivals' content in 2026, only really because I'm hoping that they add some kind of perk implementation as well. That would be really sick. I think somehow adding perks, or maybe even like a bundle of skills to choose from for each hero that they can customize, or like choose one over the other and add that to their skill set. That would be sick. Adding one more skill that they can add to their own kit and replacing it with another skill. You know what I mean, right? Because that way they can rework Iron. Well, you know what I was gonna say. They can rework characters like Iron Fist to make him less limiting by adding in more skills to use and make him more of a more deeper character per se. I think it's a way that we can like, have old characters catch up to new characters with larger kits. Because I feel like there's a trend of a lot of new characters having more bigger kits, and the older characters are a bit more simplified. So I don't know. I really hope they have like some kind of thing for Iron Fist, really. But in general, it would be cool to see like every hero have their own little kit that they can customize and just choose one skill over the other. Um, Again, I'm not gonna expect it, but it's something that I would dream about. Really, that would be sick. Because everyone always complains about a hero not doing the specific thing that they know them by, right? Moon Knight, he doesn't just shoot onks. No, in fact, I think a lot of Moon Knight fans don't like that because it kind of goes to the whole throwing random shit meme that Moon Knight has, and I learned that Moon Knight fans don't really like that. I'm sort of new to the whole Moon Knight comic series in general, but he does a lot more than just shoot stuff. He has his own batons where he fucking fights with them, and yeah, he does have his own melee shit. But again, there's a lot more Moon Knight does in the comics than just shoot stuff. So again, it would be cool to see that, because not only does it cater to the player base who actually care about comic accuracy or just Marvel in general, but it would also help the game to be more in depth and add more to the core gameplay. Here's my hot take. Okay, I think hero shooters should always have a perk system of any kind, similar to like having your own kit being built in a game. The problem with that take is that it's probably too much. But Overwatch, the way they did it, I liked because some heroes have a straight up fucking new skill to use, and others have just effects. But there's not really many to choose from. It's a small little thing that adds so much to the core gameplay of Overwatch. And if Rivals has that same thing, it would have the same effect. I'm not asking for some crazy MMO style RPG build for each hero. No, I'm asking for like, oh, here's 3 extra skills for each hero, and you can mix and match those skills into the kit. But again, it would have to relate to how they play. So let's say like Daredevil, he's a diver. At least mainly, he's a diver. He can do other shit too, but you see a lot of Daredevils doing some diving shit. So the skills that they would get, the new skills, would be more catered to how they play mainly. Now it's just a question of how they do play mainly. Like, is that really how they play? But again, that's a discussion for another time. But I hope you see what I'm putting down here. I hope you see the vision that I have. But again, do I see it happening? Maybe, because Overwatch added a perk system. But do I see it being the way I want it to? Not really. But that's fine. Again, I just want some core gameplay adjustments that add more to the kits of all the characters and Rivals. In summary, that's what I want. I hear myself when I talk, and I sound so annoying. Like, I'm aware. Don't get me wrong. I feel aware about all this shit. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, I think Rivals this year has been really good. In fact, even during like season 4, they had a step down in terms of player base, but it came back up. They really put their shit back in progress and kind of reeled in more players again. You don't see a game just do that over and over again. You don't. So that was cool to see. But yeah, that's it. I think this year has been pretty good so far with Rivals, and I hope it stays that way. But yeah, that's about it for me. Bye.